Hello everyone. Today we're going to begin to understand about histrionic personality disorder. So when we're looking at histrionic personality disorder, this particular disorder has certain very obvious clinical features. So this particular disorder is characterized by emotional expressiveness, okay, that is they are excessively emotionally expressive, and they also have a lot of attention seeking behaviors. So basically these two symptoms kind of stand out in individuals with histrionic personality disorder and makes it quite obvious even for a layperson. So when you're looking at histrionic personality disorder, the onset seems to be at a very early age, like in adulthood, early adulthood. And with regards to symptoms, there are close to 8 symptoms under criterion A, out of which you have to have at least 5 symptoms for the disorder to be diagnosed. So now we're going to move into each of these symptoms with much more clarity. So the first symptom that we're going to look at is focused on uncomfortable or feeling unappreciated when they are not the center of attention. So when you're looking at that, these individuals, say they are in a classroom or they are in a workplace or they are in a in a shopping mall, okay, they wherever they are, they like to be the heart, that is they like to be the center of attention. They kind of want everyone to focus on them, they want everyone to appreciate them, okay. So they kind of engage in varied activities to gain that attention. Sometimes they might also be very dramatic, sometimes they might throw temper tantrums, sometimes they might they might scream or do other things to get that attention, engage in excessive crying or screaming out in a public place where it's not really appropriate. They might do different things to get that attention. So that is one thing about criterion A1. Now we're going to move on to understand criterion A2. Criterion A2 talks about appearance and behavior, which tends to be very inappropriate. So they may dress up in a very exposing manner, or they might behave in a very sexually seductive way. Okay, so behaving in a very sexually seductive way in certain places will be considered, I wouldn't say it's okay, but at least okay, fine, this is a location where such behaviors are evident, say in a discotheque or in a party or something like that, wherein where there are some activities like that. So she and a girl or a boy behaving in a sexually seductive way in such locations would be a different scene. But with regards to histrionic personality disorder, the setting is not only such places, it could even be a workplace, it could even be say a psychologist whom they are coming for a session with. So it could be anyone, all right. So their behaviors could be very seductive, very their language could sound like they are flirting. So that kind of behavior is what A2 talks about. A3 talks about a rapid shifting of emotional expressions, and their expressions being very shallow. That is, at one moment you might notice that they might be all happy, and another moment you might notice that they may look all dejected. But in either ways, the emotional intensity of the emotion seems to be looking very shallow. Shallow as in it's not in depth. That is, when you see some people when they are really happy and they express it in terms of laughter, have you noticed, like, that there is some depth in this emotion, but some people will have a superficial laughter or a superficial way of trying to tell that I'm feeling bad about it, and it's pretty obvious that it's very superficial. It's that kind of a shallow effect. That's what we're talking about in criterion A3. Next, you're looking at criterion A4. Criterion A4 is wherein they would consistently use physical appearance to draw attention to others. For example, dressing in a certain manner, or asking people constantly to look at them or talk to them, or in a way that they kind of engage in certain behaviors which will actually make others attend to them, okay, but and they want that to be very, very consistent. So at certain points, people with histrionic personality disorder do manage to get that attention, but imagine you have to give that attention like every day, 24 hours a day. Will that relationship even last? No, you can't really always give that attention. So sometimes what happens is, because you're unable to do so, that can be a lot of mood shifts in the client who's experiencing histrionic personality disorder. So that is basically criterion A4, which talks about all of this. Next, we're looking at criterion A5, which wherein speech is involved. Okay, so in speech, they might talk about things like as if, it's really great. For example, they may talk about someone stating that they are really an awesome person, they have been a great person and all of that. But if you go and ask them, okay, so do you feel this person's really nice? Can you tell me something about that person? They would have absolute no details about, the intensity in which they told they are awesome. And when you go and ask them, why are they awesome? Can you give me some details? They wouldn't have any big details. So that's basically that kind of speech. Okay, so wherein they would try to emphasize things which are not required to be emphasized. They might talk things in a very vague manner. So it's that kind of speech that they're talking about in criterion A5. Criterion A6 talks about dramatic theatrical behavior, wherein their emotions tend to be very exaggerated emotional expression. Okay, even if it's a small thing, dramatically crying about it. Okay, dramatically expressing things about their lives. Like when you ask them what happened and how did this happen, how did this reach this far. So dramatically trying to express that. Okay, so that's the kind of way they kind of communicate things. So that is basically criterion A6. Next, you're looking at criterion A7. So when you're looking at criterion A7, it talks about suggestibility. That is, people with histrionic personality disorder generally are very easily suggestible. That is, if you're gonna tell them, simple things like, hey, you look very beautiful today, can we go on a ride? They will just come off for a ride with you, which means they are people who can be easily influenced by others. Even for making small decisions, they may go around asking others for their opinions. Okay, so they are not really, driven by self. They might be people who will easily be moved by others, easily be influenced by others on what they should do, what they, where they should go, what they wear, things like that. Okay, so they can easily be influenced by others. They are highly suggestible, so which makes them at risk to many people who would like to take advantage. All right, so that is A7. Next, we're looking at A8. A8 talks about a very important feature, and that is considering relationships more intimate than how they are. Okay, so which means they might be people who would actually get into relationships with others. Okay, and these relationships might not be very intense. Okay, but they may talk about it like as if it's very intense. For example, they probably would have met someone like the previous day. Okay, like when they're going in and in a taxi. Okay, say it's a pool taxi, and you meet someone, and that person talks to you. You also talk to that person. You find that person nice, and that's it. It was just the drive. And then after a few days, okay, you talk about that person like as if that person's really great. He's my very close friend. Okay, so that comes a hitch. Okay, so something's really wrong. Why would you really emphasize a relationship which is not even lasted a day? Okay, so that's the kind of emphasizing exaggerations that they put on relationships, wherein such relationships are not even practically lasted a day. So that's with regards to the clinical picture of histrionic personality disorder. Next, let's look at the causal factors for histrionic personality disorder. So when we're looking at the causal factors, obviously genetics plays a very important role, and it's often found that genetics kind of establishes a link with antisocial personality disorder, wherein parents who have antisocial personality disorder okay, and when they have offsprings, and if it's a female, the female is more likely to develop histrionic personality disorder. So that's the kind of genetic link that has been established so far. Reasons, however, are unknown. So that is with regards to genetics and its link with ASPD. Then we're looking at the traits. Inherited traits like extroversion and neuroticism seems to be at its peak when we're looking at histrionic personality disorder. So extroversion traits like trying to be very over friendly with strangers, okay, and trying to be very open in social settings, okay, all of that, though it's nice, anything when it moves beyond the optimal could be very dangerous. So that's one thing that you can notice in people with histrionic personality disorder. Another thing is with regards to neuroticism. Okay, so neuroticism traits show up in form of feelings of sadness when others don't give them that attention and all of that. Okay, so basically it is it's those negative moods associated with feelings of sadness, feeling devalued if someone doesn't really talk to them and all of that. So that is with regards to the neurotic symptoms. Cognitive theorists point out another major aspect as a causal factor, and they state that people with histrionic disorder have actually developed maladaptive schemas, although they do not know precisely how such schemas have developed, but they do believe that such maladaptive schemas, when treated through CBT, can really help people with histrionic personality disorders. Such schemas could be very simple. For example, if others do not attend to me during a party, or if others do not appreciate me during a party, then I am no good. Okay, so having that maladaptive schema will turn off their entire enjoyment in that party. So trying to challenge those those maladaptive schemas, those negative automatic thoughts, is one of the major goals of CBT, which has been proven to be quite effective with people with histrionic personality disorder. So here we come to an end of our discussion about the causal factors as well as the clinical picture of histrionic personality disorder. I hope this video has been very useful and effective for all of you to understand this disorder in clarity. Thank you.